Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel of Conscious History, where we will unveil the hidden truths of the past. In this episode, we will look at what we can learn from the genius advisor behind Napoleon, Charles-Maurice de Talleyrand. Some historians remember this influential French diplomat and politician, who we will talk about as the man who led 2 revolutions, deceived 20 kings and founded Europe. In this video we will tell you who Charles Talleyrand was, and why he was the genius diplomat behind Napoleon. If you haven't, like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and let's start with the video. Charles-Maurice de Talleyrand was born in 1754, the son of Charles Daniel, Count of Talleyrand-Périgord, and Alexandrine de Damas de Antilly. His parents came from old aristocratic families, but they weren't wealthy. The peculiarity of his fate began with a leg injury. This injury, which affected his ability to walk, would be an important factor in his life. The story behind this injury becomes even more mysterious due to different versions. Some sources claim it was a childhood accident, while others suggest a condition or even early illness. Regardless of his origin, this injury marked his path to an exceptional destiny. The limitation imposed by his injury led his parents to make a bold decision. He was not going to join the army, but at the age of 15, they sent him to study to become a priest in a seminary. This unusual step paved the way for a surprising rise in life for him. Despite his physical handicap, Talleyrand demonstrated to be a genius during his seminary studies, which opened up opportunities for him. Charles' career led to him becoming Bishop of Autun, a position that not only gave him power, but also a platform to interact with royal figures such as Louis XVI. However, his relationship with the church also provided him with the opportunity to cultivate personal relationships, such as his connection with the Countess Adelaide de Flahaut. Despite the differences in their social position and age, they had good chemistry. Their relationship developed at a time when the French Revolution was radically changing the structure of society and interpersonal relationships. Talleyrand, always known for being smart and adaptable, was able to find in Adelaide a partner who shared her openness to new ideas and willingness to defy convention. The exact relationship between Talleyrand and Adelaide remains largely a mystery. In some books they are speculated that they might have a child, but that is not something we can be absolutely sure of. The situation perhaps reflects the discreet and diplomatic nature of Talleyrand, who was accustomed to maneuvering in the shadows and making decisions that benefited his position and objectives. The French Revolution marked a turning point in Talleyrand's life. His bishop's title guaranteed him a place in the Estates General of 1789, giving him the ability to influence the transformation of a nation. At this crucial moment, he helped draft the first French constitution and the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen. His progressive approach manifested itself in his efforts to promote an English-style constitutional monarchy and to propose a universal free education law. However, his boldest proposal was the nationalization of church assets, an idea that totally challenged his religious position. The uproar by this proposal resulted in a break with the church, and Talleyrand chose to renounce the religious title. With the terror raging and the guillotine in action in France, he sought refuge in America to survive. Despite his exile, he never lost his attachment to France and returned in 1796, when the country was undergoing a change towards the Republic. During the Directory, a Republican period supported by figures such as Napoleon Bonaparte, Talleyrand took over as foreign minister. His friendship with Napoleon placed him at the epicenter of politics at a crucial moment in history. The relationship between Talleyrand and Napoleon became a central pillar in his life. Talleyrand played an essential role in French diplomacy, using his negotiating skills and political vision to maintain foreign relations. However, as Napoleon rose in power and ambition, he and Napoleon began to drift apart. He advised Napoleon to not invade Spain and Russia, but Napoleon did not listen and neglected his advisor. The man who saw it all coming and seemed like someone who was always a step ahead of everyone could not change the mind of Napoleon the Great, and so their ways separated. In 1815, Napoleon was defeated and exiled to St. Helena, for his final days. In France, however, Talleyrand endorsed the ascension of Louis XVIII and represented France at the Congress of Vienna, skillfully managing to turn the tide in his country's favor. Talleyrand's life is a tale of adaptation, pragmatism and survival. His focus on his own well-being and that of France were intertwined. His legacy lives on of that of a man who left his mark on European history, influencing the political and diplomatic events of his day. After the fall of Napoleon and the restoration of the monarchy under Louis XVIII, Talleyrand continued to play an important role in French politics. His support for the July Revolution in 1830 and his influence on Louis-Philippe of Orleans' ascension to the throne demonstrated his ability to shape the political destinies of his country. As French ambassador in London, Talleyrand signed the Treaty of the Quadruple Alliance, showing his commitment to stability and peace in Europe. His vision of a peaceful and collaborative Europe where civilized nations work together for the common good was ahead of his time. Despite historical clashes, such as the rivalry between France and Great Britain, Talleyrand wanted understanding and cooperation. Talleyrand emerged as a skilled strategist, navigating the complexities of politics in a turbulent time. His ability to adapt to changing circumstances and his search for pragmatic solutions highlight his ability to survive in a difficult political environment. His legacy is also marked by his influence at the Congress of Vienna, where his diplomatic tactic helped France regain its place at the international community. The question of whether Talleyrand was doing things for France or just for himself is an ongoing debate. His focus on his own benefit and his nations were often intertwined, making simplistic moral judgment difficult. Adapting his ideas to changing circumstances can be interpreted as a display of political decision-making. His legacy lives on as an example of how historical figures can be complex and think outside the box. Charles-Maurice de Talleyrand, a man scarred by his childhood injury, transcended physical limitations, to become an influential diplomat and politician in European history. His life was marked by the French Revolution, his relationship with Napoleon, and his role at the Congress of Vienna. His search for stability and peace in Europe, as well as his political pragmatism, make him a fascinating and incredible character. His legacy lives on as a reminder of the complexity of politics and diplomacy in turbulent times. The prominent French diplomat and politician died on May 17, 1838, at his residence in Paris, a few hours after making peace with the Church. His body was buried in the castle of Valençay. At that time he was 84 years old. His death was mainly attributed to natural causes because of his advanced age. Throughout his life, Talleyrand had faced numerous political challenges and changes, but in his later years he withdrew from active politics and spent his days in relative peace. Given his reign and influence on European politics for decades, his death marked the end of an era in French diplomatic and political history. After watching this video, did you know of the genius advisor behind Napoleon? What do you think of his life that seemed like a server of non-stop adaptation to remain in power? Leave me your answer below in the comments. And if you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to see more similar videos and activate the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you once we upload a new video. We upload videos regularly. Don't miss it, you will not regret it.